Hey everybody, welcome back to the vlog. Thank you once again for joining me for tea time. I hope you have a cup of tea or maybe a hot cup of coffee. Hang out with me and talk tech, photo, video, whatever it is. I appreciate you being here. So today we have FujiFilm on the docket. So we've been talking a lot about Adobe. We have to get away from Adobe just for a minute. So FujiFilm, brand new medium format monster is coming out in June, basically next month, I think mid-month, right around there. The thing is this medium format is going to be different. It's not 50 megapixels. It's not 60 or 70 or 80. It's 102 megapixels. Massive, guys, absolutely massive. I did a video, I was talking about medium format and how I think that it is the revolution that is going to be coming, all right? I foresee this. This is happening, all right? If we like it or not, the prices for medium format is going to keep on going lower and lower and lower, thanks to Fujifilm, not to Phase One and Hasselblad and all the rest of them that have their prices at like $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, basically for the exact same camera that this is, the same sensor, let's call it. 102 megapixels. So today I want to go through it a little bit and I want to talk to you about it. I want to get your thoughts on it. What do you think? This might not be a camera for you right now, but it is the beginnings, all right? The beginnings of professional photography, I think, as we know it. It's going to start migrating to larger and larger and larger sensors, as we've seen been happening as of late, especially with full frame. Look how popular, guys, full frame is today in comparison to APS-C and Micro Four Thirds. Yes, right now, still APS-C is the leader when it comes to cameras that are currently on the market, but it's changing. People are migrating to larger and larger and larger sensors. Why? Because they're becoming cheaper. That is just simply it. So, all right, guys, let's get right into it. Once again, it is a 102 megapixel medium format mirrorless camera. It is backside illuminated CMOS. It is not an X-trans sensor. A lot of people think that if it's a Fuji camera, then it's going to be an X-trans sensor. That is not the case. Their medium formats are CMOS sensors. And by the way, this sensor is actually a Sony sensor. Is what it is, guys. Next, the sensor size is 1.7 times larger than a full frame sensor. So you can imagine this is a lot of real estate. There's a lot of pixels, but not only are there more pixels, but those pixels are larger, which is better. Also, its native ISO runs from 100 ISO up to 12,800 ISO, expandable to 102,000 ISO. Now, these cameras, medium format, are not for low light. All right, they need a ton of light to be able to activate all those megapixels, right? It needs a lot of light. So seeing that this is 100 to 12,800, I'm going to say you're probably going to start seeing grain right around 6,400, 5,000, right around there. I would probably cap this camera off at about 3,200 ISO. That's my personal opinion. I haven't shot it, but chances are that's probably where you're going to see your best pictures, anything below 3,200 ISO. Next comes 5-axis in-body image stabilization. And a lot of you are going, what? And scratching your heads? How is that possible? 5-axis image stabilization? Image stabilization on a medium format sensor? How do you do that? I mean, we know that, for example, a Panasonic does an awesome job with their GH line. Why? Because their image stabilization has to be done on a tiny sensor. And we know also as the sensors get larger and larger, usually image stabilization will suffer. It's always difficult to be able to take a massive sensor and jiggle it all around. Well, Fujifilm, I guess, has figured it out. Not only do you have your 5-axis image stabilization, but it's going to grant you or provide you 5.5 stops of stabilization. That is like what everyone is doing, even with smaller sensors. How do they do it? I don't know. But they're saying that this entire mechanism is sitting on 4 springs, jiggling around so it doesn't get any type of shock when you're pulling that trigger. So I think that's amazing, and I'll talk a little bit more about Fujifilm and their innovation in just a minute. Next comes onboard phase detection autofocus. So unlike their 50 series or 50R, 50S that has their contrast detection for autofocus, this is a hybrid. It is also phase detection and is providing 3.8 million points of phase detection, almost covering the entire sensor at 100%. That's incredible. That means that it's going to be really quick when it comes to autofocus. We know that medium format generally is slow to focus. So I think that this is going to be really quick in comparison to other medium format cameras. What Fujifilm actually said is that their GFX 100 was going to be up to 210% faster with their autofocusing system. That's really incredible. It also will provide both face detection as well as eye detection, just like you see in an H1 or an XT2, XT3, same type of thing, the same face and eye detection. That's really great for doing portraiture. Also, they're saying 95 points of weather sealing that is dust resistant as well as weather resistant. You have a back touchscreen that is 3.2 inches in size and 2.36 million dots of resolution. And it will have a 3-direction tilt, very similar to their other cameras, not a fully articulating back panel, but a 3-direction tilt. People that do portraiture, they want to flip the camera, or if they want to get low, whatever, this back panel will help out a lot. Next comes their EVF. Now this is a swiveling as well as tilting interchangeable EVF. That is really interesting. That means that you can tilt this thing any which way you need to, number one, but number two, since it's interchangeable, you can pop that thing off and make the size of the camera a little bit smaller. Now, is it going to get very small? No, because it is a large camera body. They're saying it's going to be about the size of a 1DX. That is a large body, and we're looking at 3.1 pounds. So this is heavy. Remember, you're dealing with medium format, guys. This isn't something you're going to stick in your shirt pocket or your back pocket, all right? The camera also provides 2 batteries within its battery grip, providing a total of about 800 shots before you have to recharge the battery, which is good. It also includes 2 UHS-2 SD cards. Obviously, it's a professional camera. You're going to have 2 SD cards within it, which is nice. Now, video. This is important to some people. To me, if you're buying a medium format camera, it shouldn't be important to you at all. But Fujifilm is looking at video as we want to do it. We want to add it in here and we want to do it well. I don't get it, but if they want to do it, go for it. Well, they're doing it in spades, guys. Really incredible. It's going to be shooting 4K at 30 frames per second. That is 420 at 400 megabits per second. Internal. That is internal to those SD cards. Now, if you want to use, for example, a external recorder, you can get uncompressed 422 10-bit out of it. Out of a medium format camera. Could you imagine how luscious those backgrounds would be in video? I mean, anyways, we'll get into that another day. Now, also in the video side of it, it will provide F-Log as well as a hybrid log, gamma, and zebring, and all kinds of other niceties for shooting video. This is really cool. This is what they've done with their X series, for example, the XH1, hopefully the XH2 coming soon, as well as the XT3 and the rest of them. They have some really nice video functionality, and they're basically incorporating it into this medium format camera. That is awesome. As far as the little niceties on the sides, you have an HDMI port. You also have your mic jack, as well as a headphone jack and a 2.5 millimeter shutter release. And finally, it has a USB-C port, which is really great. Getting back into those batteries, getting 800 shots with them, you can use that USB-C port to either charge your batteries or to power the camera indefinitely using that connector, which is really cool, as well as using it for data transfer. And we know how fast USB-C is. So anyways, guys, that is the GFX 100. I think it's really amazing. And for me, I look at it as being just one of these things that leads me back to say, wow, Fuji, you are innovating. Now, a lot of companies out there as of late have not been doing very much innovation. They come out with cameras that are just kind of ho-hum. They're just almost like repurposed older cameras. They just keep doing little iterations instead of doing these innovative things to it. When we see this GFX 100, which is at 102 megapixels, doing the stuff that it does, it is very innovative. All right. This is unlike any other medium format camera on the market. It is going to give a run to Hasselblad, to Phase, to all the rest of them, and they're really going to have to figure out what they're going to do, or they're going to be relegated. Fujifilm is just going to take over the market. Now, the price is $9,999. That's right, $10,000, guys. Now, some people will be like, oh my God, Joe, that's too expensive. Yeah, it's expensive, all right? I wouldn't buy one to let it sit here. I'd probably rent it in, even though it is much cheaper than when, for example, our Hasselblads that we rent in. Normally, those things are about $40,000 to $50,000. So technically, you can buy 4 of these for one Hasselblad, all right? So it is really, really cheap in the scope of things, guys, in the scope of things. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier. I do think that photography is getting larger and larger and larger and larger when it comes to sensors and what people want. We know currently full frame is all the rage. Everyone's like, oh, is that a full frame? Is that a full? Years ago, no one would even care. Like APS-C, Micro Four Thirds, I didn't even care what it is, okay? It just worked, besides us pros. But the general consumers, they didn't know the difference. They didn't really care. Now, all of a sudden, there's this push with full frame, and everyone, even amateurs, are talking about full frame. Oh, is that a full frame sensor? Well, I think that's going to happen also going forward with professionals. Is that a medium format camera? I think that Hasselblad, Phase, all the rest of them are really going to have to lower their price to start competing with Fujifilm, or Fujifilm is just going to run with the ball. That's what I think is going to happen. This camera is absolutely unbelievable, seeing that it's going to house this image stabilization unit that hopefully, as they say, will be able to provide 5.5 stops of handheld goodness. I mean, that is really important when it comes to medium format. Why? Because medium format cameras are really heavy. And if you want to shoot them, not in the studio, you want to run and gun them, you're going to be out there carrying them. You could use a monopod or something like that, but it's a pain. I just want to handhold and just go shoot. So being able to get that type of image stabilization with a medium format camera, as well as a super, super fast autofocus system and eye tracking and facial I mean, come on. I mean, this is revolutionary, guys. It is revolutionary. So what do you think? Do you find it interesting? Most likely the majority of you will not be buying this camera, but do you see where we're going with this? If it's $10,000 today, in 3 years from now, it's going to be $7,500, $8,000. 6 years from now, we're probably going to be at $5,000 for this camera. It is going to be an amazing journey that we're going to be going on as of now. So what do you think? Do you think that this is kind of cool? Do you like what Fuji is doing? Do you agree with me that they are innovating where a lot of other companies are simply iterating? Do you find this to be factual or not? I want to hear from you. Doesn't matter. You can agree with me, not agree with me. I love all of the comments. In the comment area, put your thoughts. Let me know what you think. And as always, if you enjoy my content, throw me a big thumbs up. That would be stellar. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you can get all my content when it becomes available, and click the bell icon so when it is available, you will be notified of it. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools that I've invented for you and me over the years. And hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me. I would really appreciate it, and so would my family. So that's it, guys. I'm out of here for yet another vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you in the next one. Happy shooting.